my beloved, hush your scrolling for a moment and attend with the quiet of your whole heart. I have a word for you tonight, a word that is not for the crowds or the curious, but for you alone, spoken with intention, sealed with compassion, and given because I know the weight you carry. There is a release that moves now, a shifting of unseen accounts, a loosening of what has felt locked for too long. Hear me plainly. A large sum of provision is being released in your name tonight. This is not a magic trick or a shallow promise. It is a declaration of favor and provision meant to meet the real needs you have carried silently. Pause, breathe, and receive this as my personal whisper into your circumstance. Do not treat this like rumor or wishful thinking. Receive it as a tangible word from one who orders the cosmos. I know the long nights you have spent calculating and worrying, the tightness in your chest when bills arrive, the small humiliations you swallow to spare others from your burden. I know how you have hidden the ache of scarcity beneath forced smiles and stoic silence. I have been with you in every ledger you kept with trembling hands. Tonight I move in the realm of release. Provision is not always dramatic, but tonight the movement is unmistakable. Imagine a door opening you thought sealed, a stream diverting toward your dry ground, a key turning in a lock you believed rusted shut. This is the shape of what I am doing for you. Do not interpret this as permission to be reckless. This release is a gift and a responsibility. It is given so that wounds can be healed, debts can be settled, generosity can be practiced, and stewardship can be honored. When abundance arrives, let it teach you to choose more wisely, to invest in ways that bring health rather than harm, to forgive debts that poison the soul, and to give in ways that multiply hope. Money, in itself, is neutral. It becomes sacred or destructive by the heart that handles it. Receive what comes with gratitude, and with the sober wisdom I give to those who will steward well. Open the spiritual door in your life that invites this blessing. Open with gratitude first, for thanksgiving prepares the heart to receive. Speak simply, thank you. Let the syllables fall like small seeds. Then open with honesty. Bring me the ledger of your fears, your mistakes, your desperation. I do not require perfection to bless. You need not have fixed everything to receive help. Vulnerable hands are the hands I lift. Open with expectation without entitlement. Expect good, but do not bargain or demand as if you have earned this by merit alone. This release is a movement of grace. Remember also to open practical doors. If a new opportunity appears, an unexpected check, a message, a cleared obstacle, do not ignore it because you are wary. Discern carefully, but act when clarity arrives. Often I send provision through ordinary channels. An employer who finally calls back, a mailed check that arrived late, a neighbor offering work, a contract that completes, a sudden idea that bears fruit. Keep your eyes open for the small and the commonplace. Blessings often speak in gentle, everyday voices. Be ready to receive with both wonder and prudence. There will be voices around you, within you, that say this cannot be true. They are echoes of past disappointments, critics of the heart, or the pragmatic whisper of caution. I do not tell you to discard prudence. I speak against the tyranny of cynicism that hardens you into disbelief. Let discernment and hope walk together. Check the facts, verify the offers, and do not hand over your dignity to anyone who demands secrecy, pressure, or payment up front. True release will not ask you to betray your integrity. If something asks you to give in order to receive, be careful. The genuine opening I speak of does not extort your trust. As this release moves, you will feel a mixture of joy and a strange tenderness. Do not be alarmed if gratitude is accompanied by tears. This is the heart's language when burdens lift. Give thanks not only for the amount that is released, but for the restoration that follows. Healed relationships, renewed confidence, opportunities to bless others, and the gentle removal of shame that scarcity often breeds. Let your first response be worshipful and humble. Let your second be responsible and wise. I also call you to generosity from the first stirrings of increase. There is a holy rhythm in giving as you receive. Find one small way to share what comes: an act of kindness, a paid debt for someone behind you, a donation to a cause that kept your heart alive during the drought, or a practical gift to a friend in need. These gestures keep the flow alive and remind your heart that provision is not only for self preservation, but for communal flourishing. Giving does not deplete you. Often it opens channels for more blessing. When you open your hand, you open your life to continued favor. Tonight, as this release is being set in motion, anchor yourself in specific declarations. Speak them aloud if you can. Name the relief you need, whether it is a cleared debt, a financial door opening, a job offer, a loan forgiven, or an unexpected gift. Naming is a form of faith. It aligns your hope with the movement that is happening. But do so with humility, recognizing that my ways are higher than yours and my provision may come in forms you do not yet imagine. Trust the goodness of what arrives, even if it is not the exact shape you asked for. Do not miss the quiet work I am doing in your character as I release provision. Money can reveal your inner posture, what you value, how you love, and where your trust rests. Let this season refine you. Cultivate gratitude, resist greed, practice contentment, and remember the source of all good things. I will not only relieve need, I will also rescue from the spirit of endless wanting. Learn to be satisfied with enough so that you can be available to the needs of others. Teach your children, your household, and your circle to value presence and integrity over mere accumulation. There is a practical side to this too. If the release involves clearing debts, prioritize what is urgent and speak with creditors with honesty. If a sudden payment arrives, consider making a plan before spending it impulsively. If opportunity to invest or purchase appears, seek wise counsel. I delight in your flourishing, but I treasure the sanctity of your heart more. Engage both the spiritual and the sensible. Stewardship is a practice of heart and mind together. I also want to caution against quick displays of abundance meant to prove your worth. Pride can be a subtle thief in the midst of blessing. Do not parade provision to win admiration or silence critics. Instead, let your life testify quietly to the transformation within you, a calmer spirit, a more generous disposition, a renewed commitment to love and justice. When you live humbly with prosperity, you honor both the giver and the gift. If you are tempted to use this release to erase mistakes without learning their lessons, pause. True healing comes when repair accompanies provision. If relationships were damaged because of financial choices, use some of this new release to make amends. If there were patterns, impulsive purchases, avoidance of work, misuse of resources, address those habits. Let the money be a catalyst for transformation, not just temporary relief. I desire that the abundance reshapes your story for the long term. And to those who feel unworthy or unready to receive, come as you are. My blessings are not withheld for emotional perfection. Doubt, fear, and past failure do not disqualify you. Open your hands, even if they tremble. Let humility be the gateway. I meet the honest heart. I do not need your competence to pour out good things. I need your openness. Receive the release with a trembling heart and with the resolve to live differently because of it. There will be practical confirmations, little signs that this movement is real. A call returned, a cleared transaction, a delayed payment suddenly processed, a door that no longer resists. Watch for these confirmations and let them anchor your faith. Keep a record of them and use them to remind your heart in future droughts that I have acted before and will act again. Celebrate these signs. They are not vanity. They are testimonies that strengthen your family and community. Finally, my beloved, remember that true wealth is not measured only in currency. Tonight's release may come in money, yes, but also in restored dignity, returned opportunities, renewed relationships, peace that outlasts the check, and a deeper sense of purpose. Receive what comes as a tool for tenderness, not as the end itself. Use it to bring healing, to relieve suffering, to create beauty, and to honor the life given to you. Open now. Open your heart. Open your hands. Open your life to what I am doing. Do it with thanksgiving, with prudence, with generosity, and with a tender resolve to be shaped by this season. The release is real. Respond rightly. I am with you in every transaction, in every quiet victory, in every sob that follows joy. Tonight, provision is being released in your name. Receive it, steward it, and let it teach you to trust deeper than before. My beloved, continue to breathe these words into the stillness of your heart. There is more I will unfold to you about this release, about how it will touch not just a ledger, but the fabric of your life. So linger here a while and let each sentence settle. This is not mere rhetoric. It is practical, sacred counsel for what to do when the unexpected door opens and the air smells like relief. First, guard your inner posture. The arrival of unexpected provision can awaken old survival instincts, hurried decisions, secret hoarding, frantic attempts to secure more. I call you to a different posture, one of calm vigilance. Let your first moments be prayerful rather than impulsive. Pause before you act. Give thanks. Invite wise counsel. Keep your feet on the ground even as your heart soars. The enemy of good increase is panic. The friend of good increase is steadiness. Second, build a breathing space between receipt and expenditure. If an amount is released in your name, give yourself a short season to plan, however brief, before spending. Make a list of pressing needs, potential restorations, and future protections. Place immediate essentials at the top: food, shelter, urgent bills. Then list reparations, where apology and repayment must go. Then list seeds, investments in learning, health, or tools that will increase your ability to care for yourself and others. Finally, set aside a portion for surprise generosity. This order creates structure and keeps your heart from splurging away long-term freedom for short-term thrill. Third, appoint trusted advisors. None of us are meant to steward alone. Choose one or two people you respect, someone wise with money, someone humble with faith, someone who will tell you the truth kindly. Ask for their counsel. Share only what you are comfortable sharing, but welcome accountability. Wise counsel helps you avoid pitfalls and see opportunities you might otherwise miss. When you are tempted to make a decision fueled by ego or fear, let a trusted voice help you remember the greater aims of this blessing. Fourth, remember the spiritual economics at work. I delight in multiplying faithfulness. Consider a simple, consistent practice, a fixed percentage of what arrives set aside not for indulgence, but for the relief of others. This becomes a spiritual discipline that shapes your soul toward generosity, training you to see abundance as communal, not solitary. The size of the gift matters far less than the posture behind it. Even small, consistent acts of giving recalibrate your heart and keep the current of blessing flowing. Fifth, make practical protections. If the release is substantial, consider legal and financial safeguards, a basic plan for taxes, a modest emergency reserve, and clear records of all transactions. If you are uncertain about the right steps, seek a financial counselor who respects your values. Protecting what you receive is not mistrust, it is wise stewardship. These small structures prevent future chaos and honor the gift you have been given. Sixth, reconcile where needed. If there are people owed, family, former partners, vendors, use this moment to bring truth and repair. Money can create opportunities for reconciliation when wielded with humility. Make the call, send the message, write the check, and let the healing begin. You will find a weight lift when you pair provision with repair. This is one of the most beautiful uses of increase, to restore trust and dignity to broken relationships. Seventh, look for long-term fruit. Ask yourself, how will this change my next 5 years? Can I use this to build skills, create a business that serves others, secure housing stability, or fund education that enhances your earning capacity? Think beyond immediate relief and plan for upward mobility and resilience. Use part of what comes to purchase capacity, not just comforts. Capacity building honors the future self and multiplies the blessing you have been given. Eighth, keep humility as your companion. Do not let new resources become a banner of self-sufficiency. Remember the source and the seasons that prepared you for this moment. Speak publicly of gratitude, not entitlement. When you are honored with abundance, let it deepen your prayer life and your compassion rather than harden your heart. Pride will erode joy. Humility preserves it. Ninth, cultivate emotional health alongside financial change. Sudden increases can trigger old anxieties, fear of loss, fear of being judged, or worry that generosity will be exploited. Take care of your mental and emotional well being. Talk with a counselor if old patterns arise. Share the journey with people who will pray with you and keep your heart honest. Spiritual and emotional maturity will determine whether wealth becomes a gift or a snare. 10th, prepare for the ripple effects. When provision comes into one life, it often affects family, friends, and community. Anticipate questions, requests, and sometimes resistance. Be gentle but clear about boundaries. Decide in advance whom you will help and how, and stick to a plan to prevent overwhelm and resentment. You can be generous without being exploited. Healthy generosity often involves holding boundaries that preserve long-term capacity to give. 11th, document the testimony. Keep a simple record of confirmations and answers tied to this release. Dates, names, small signs that indicated movement. Later, those notes will be a lamp for you in future seasons of doubt. They will also become testimonies that you can share to encourage others who are waiting. Testimonies do not boast. They remind and point to faithfulness beyond yourself. 12th, use wisdom with miracles. Not every door you imagine will be the one I open. Some blessings come wrapped in unexpected forms. Opportunities to serve, a network that appears, doors to paid work, or the clearing of a legal hang-up. Accept what comes without insisting it look like your ideal. Miracles often arrive in plain packaging. 13th, practice gratitude rituals. Each time a confirmation arrives, no matter how small, mark it. A small altar of thanks, a journal entry, a shared meal, a quiet prayer of thanksgiving. These rituals train your heart to see the hand that helps. Gratitude magnifies joy and reduces the appetite for more in ways that steal contentment. Let gratitude be the light that guides your use of what you receive. 14th, guard against the counterfeit. There will be schemes and voices promising exponential gain in exchange for vulnerability. Protect your personal information. Do not pay to receive a blessing. And consult trusted advisors before entering agreements that seem too good to be true. True release is not transactional in the way scammers present it. If someone requires secrecy, pressure, or upfront payment, step back and verify. 15th, remember your story. This release is a chapter, not the whole book. Let it be woven into a larger narrative of growth, character, and purpose. Use it to write a new paragraph that begins with healing, responsibility, and service. When you allow blessings to shape your story toward compassion, you become a conduit for others' relief as well. My beloved, these practical counsels are not rule books meant to trap you in fear. They are ladders to help you climb out of survival and into stewardship. Receive the release with an open but discerning heart. Celebrate softly and plan wisely. Love recklessly, but protect tenderly. Be generous, but not naive. Let the movement of provision be a teacher that reshapes your heart toward trust and good stewardship. As this night unfolds and confirmations arrive in gentle, ordinary ways, remain anchored in prayer. Speak thanksgiving, set intentions, and take one careful step at a time. I have laid this release in motion for the good of your life and for the blessing of others through you. Receive it, steward it, and allow it to transform not just your circumstances, but the contours of your soul. My beloved, come and rest with these closing words as the night deepens and the movement I spoke of continues to unfold. There is a tenderness in the way I bring help, slow enough for your soul to wake to it, sure enough so you do not miss it. And I want these final sentences to steady you as you step into the morning that follows this night of release. Hear them as the final refrain of a long lullaby, a benediction meant to carry you forward. First, receive peace. As the tension around money loosens, let that loosened place become a sanctuary rather than a new battleground. Peace is the fruit of trust. It is the quiet companion of wise decisions. When your heart threatens to rush toward every possibility, return to this steady center. Breathe, remember, and choose slowly. The first gift you give the increase is your calmness. Let it lead your hands and feet. In the hush that follows relief, learn the art of presence. Let the feeling of safety sink into the bones of your life, so future storms will find an interior that knows rest. Second, practice repair. This release invites restoration, not only of ledgers, but of dignity and relationships. If your choices and harder seasons wounded someone, this is a chance to make amends. Speak the truth plainly, give what is owed, and ask forgiveness where pride once stood. Repair is costly, but not wasted. It becomes the bridge upon which trust is rebuilt. Use part of what arrives to mend what has been broken. You will find that healing multiplies the blessing into ways money alone never could. Third, steward legacy. Think beyond the immediate needs. Imagine what legacy you want to plant with this season. Legacy is not only about estate or inheritance. It is the character you pass on, the values you teach, the small systems you build that outlast a single lifetime. Consider seeds that grow long: education, skill building, small enterprises that employ others, or steady giving that nurtures a community. When provision arrives, let at least some of it serve future hands and future hearts. Fourth, keep curiosity alive. Do not let a sudden turn of seasons harden you into a solitary fortress of caution. Allow curiosity to lead you in learning new skills, exploring new callings, and meeting people who can expand your horizons. Curiosity keeps generosity supple and imagination fertile. Ask questions, read, seek mentors, and be willing to pivot when wisdom suggests a new direction. A curious heart coupled with a disciplined hand can steward abundance into flourishing. Fifth, remember the invisible ledger. Every act of generosity, every honest apology, every small discipline you practice, These are entries in an invisible ledger that matters to the soul. If you spend only on yourself, the spirit whispers. If you give only to appearances, your heart will know. Choose integrity. Keep accounts not just with banks, but with conscience. Let charity be secret sometimes and public sometimes. Let humility and transparency share the same space in your life. Sixth, protect your boundaries. Generosity does not mean dissolution of self. You will be asked for more than you can healthily give. Learn to say no with grace. Set clear parameters for how you will help, amounts, frequency, and conditions, and be kind but firm. Protecting your flourishing is also a gift to those who depend on you. It keeps your capacity sustainable. Teach others how to receive from you without making you their entire safety net. Seventh, cultivate gratitude as ritual. Make Thanksgiving habitual, a small daily moment where you recount confirmations and thank for the ordinary. Bring a sacrament of gratitude into your life. A bowl with notes of thanks, a weekly family sharing of small mercies, a quiet prayer when you sit down to a meal. Gratitude keeps the soul centered on the source and prevents the slow